Hey there, campers. While we're gathering around the campfire, we just want to let you know we are not what you would call experts. What we do have is a love for researching and discussing the lore of cryptids, creatures,
and an occasional spooky woman that can eat our soul.
So if you are in need of immediate help with the chupacabra in your yard, please consult someone else.
Also, this podcast isn't for kids. These campfire stories can contain graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young campers, so listener discretion is advised.
Second time's a charm. Hey, campers! We may have technical difficulties, but there is nothing difficult about being here for you guys. So welcome to Aloreing. My name's Kimmy, and I am here with my co-host, Ryan.
Welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast, where we tell you the history and sightings of different folklore and legends from around the world, and we do it in one take.
Yeah, we never make mistakes here. We're
Nope.
perfect.
We definitely did already record 30 minutes of this episode before realizing I didn't have a microphone, but that's okay.
Listen, we were too busy setting up this cool new rad setup for all the people watching us on YouTube.
Wow.
So,
and the nice thing is I'm going to point the right direction now because we already did all of this and I still got it wrong. There we go.
There we go. We will figure out my camera next time. So just hold on, everybody. Just hold on. We will get right into it. For all our audio listeners that don't know what's going on, it's been chaotically great on our YouTube channel. So come check out our live streams if you're about that. But
yeah, I'd say one restart could be worse.
Could be worse. See, that's how I look at it. Yeah. Like, we're just, I don't know, maybe we'll be better the second time around. Maybe we'll be worse. We will find out in 30 minutes. So let's start this again. Ryan, what did you find Aloreing this week?
So as previously mentioned, I was like, 2023, what, do I have more time on my hands than I did last year? The answer is no. But do I have more time to decide to pick up another hobby? Yes. So always. I started kickboxing, and it's been a good time. God, I'm in pain just everywhere. Back hurts. Ankles hurt, wrists hurt, but it's a good time. I'm having fun with it.
All the micro muscles are really acting up today.
Yeah, all the ones that you're like, oh, there's no muscles there. Like, that's just your body. Nope, turns out it's a muscle, and it can be sore.
You know, kickboxing is so much fun, though.
It is. No, I've been having fun.
It's such a great time.
Everybody's super nice. Which I was kind of scared at first. I thought it was going to be a bunch of like aggro like people. No, it's just a bunch of people who are just there to have a good time.
Well, like people that kickbox, I feel are very quiet rage people where they aren't very outwardly aggressive in my personal experience. So they're very welcoming and peaceful.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, come here, let's do this fun thing. And then they destroy a bag and you see God for a minute and you're like, okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah. The guy that was my, like, I guess, sparring partner, he's been doing it for like 4 years and he didn't realize it was like my first class. So he was going a little hard, but he was still very nice.
That's how you learn. That's a good way to learn, though. Just kind of get thrown into it.
Absolutely yeeted into the fire. But yeah, what did you find Aloreing this week?
Man, I am on the opposite realm of working out. I was pure entertainment. my sister-in-law is just a pure blessing. She is super into theater. And like I said before, I told my brother, I was like, this is the one, Chief, because yes, they're compatible and everything, but I also wanted her in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, you want to go see The Little Mermaid? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So
want to see The Little Mermaid?
Do I want to? I spend so much money on red hair dye.
Yeah,
like that's an automatic yes. And she was so cute. So we even like dressed up like grungy Ariel and Ursula
Nice.
when we went. And we went to the Hale Center Theater in Sandy, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I like cried 3 times during it. And my favorite thing is it's a circle theater in the middle, so all the seating is around it and rises up.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have people on wires with the mermaid tails, and they made it look like it was underwater and they were swimming. And I was speechless. Like, I got a little bit, what's it called? Like, when you're scared of heights, like, I was feeling it for the
I can
singers.
see you just, like, slouched in your seat, just, like, staring up. Like,
yeah, because
man,
it was so cool because they would, like, they'd have, like, Ariel would be on the rock at the bottom of the ocean, and then she would swim up, like, she's going up to, like, her spot on land.
Yeah.
And she'd swim all the way up, like, into the ceiling. And then the bottom stage would lift up and she'd be sitting there on her rock. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it was just all of it. And my favorite thing was the costumes. Oh my Atlanta. I literally, oh my Atlanta, because I was absolutely
literally,
speechless. Yeah. I was watching it and I was like, you know what? I really need that wedding dress that Ariel has in it. It was gorgeous. Everything was just immaculate. It felt like Brazil Carnival.
Nice.
Like, I just have nothing but positive things to say about it. And I felt like an inner child and I adored absolutely every second of it. So if you guys want to go see a magical play, it will change your life.
Now that you just mentioned children, let's jump into this week's story, should we?
Yeah.
Or do you want to keep talking about fun stuff, or now we're just gonna jump into it?
I know we're just gonna jump in.
Ooh, that's the wrong slide. That's all right. It won't let me change it for some reason. That's okay.
Will you change the slides?
You know, things are. Some days you just have technical difficulty after technical difficulty. Anyway, my fear must have been evident. The boy in the back wore a look of confusion. The spokesman banged sharply on the window as I rolled it up. His words, full of anger, echo in my mind, even today. We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in. And let us get to the story. What are we talking about, Kimmy?
Well, I'm gonna light one of my holy candles right now before I start this.
I lit my cinnamon spiced vanilla, not holy, Bed Bath and Beyond.
Ooh. One day we'll find an Etsy candle maker, because like I made this one, but man, it takes so much work.
Yeah,
it takes so much work. We'll get there one day, but until then, most of the times when we hear a knock at the door, it takes place during the day, and it's either a neighbor, family, friend, or even a salesperson. But what happens when we hear a knock at the door at night? Of course, our guard is going to be up a little bit more. Maybe our pets will bark at it. And you may be wondering, who could be here so late? Then, when you look through the peephole and see some hooded child asking for help, I want you to take a step back and listen to your gut. Because if it is screaming, "Not today, Satan," you want to listen to it. Why? Because those kids aren't human and they will bring nothing but sorrow your way. So we're going to look at this week's illustration. For all of our audio listeners, if you want to check it out, go to our website and go to the latest blog post or go to our Instagram. And if you're watching,
creepy. I feel like it's staring into my soul.
Yeah, they are staring into your soul without having eyes, which is even more unsettling.
Somehow worse.
So we will be talking about the ominous black-eyed children this week. The legend of this unknown entity has been around since the 1980s and can be found as part of England and American urban legends. It was only the first scary legend to come out. No, it was one of the first scary legends to come out with the rise of the internet and continues to be a spooky influence in today's media. So, listen, Patreons, I love you, but each time you guys do a scary episode, it really just takes it out of me. I love and hate it. I don't know if you feel the same way, Ryan, but
I love scary stuff. And I love how every time we have a scary episode, it's you messaging me like, I've been really trying to get through these notes, but I keep freaking myself out. That's my favorite part. So patrons, keep it up. Keep the spooks coming.
So keep it up. Because the thing is, I'll do the show notes at night. Yeah. That's when I have time. And then I don't want to do these at night. I get scared. So they take longer to do because I scare myself.
Here's the thing. It's 2023. You're not going to get a knock on your door. We got Ring doorbells. If you see a knock on your door, just say go away through your Ring camera. You're good to go. You don't even got to go out there.
They don't understand that technology.
Yeah. They're like, what?
Well, that's perfect because there has been many different legends of this child dating back to prehistoric times.
Oh.
But these demonic Rugrats are in a category all of their own due to their strange behavior and unknown existence. So everyone, I want you to take a minute. This isn't spooky. This is pretty delightful, so enjoy it while it lasts. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a time where there is tons of neon, very processed frozen dinners, mixtapes for your crush, and the internet making the most god-awful sound as it starts up. Because the legend's origins start around the 1990s.
Nice.
Yes. Tales of the black-eyed children were widespread on the internet, in tabloids, and in paranormal books. But that was only from 1998 and forward. So what really kicked off the sudden growth of this legend? Well, many say it's because the first written encounter was published in the Usenet group Alt.Magic on July 30th, 1997 by Brian Bethel, a newspaper spiritual columnist in Texas. So, are our slides working? Oh, sweet. Our slides are working. Oh, that's a great feeling. So about a month later, Brian even posted the same story in Alt Folklore Ghost Stories, where he added additional encounters that his friends have experienced when they came face to face with the black-eyed children. Though the second version he posted was heavily edited, Brian maintained his story, which made it feel factual and not just the start of an internet urban legend. But if we have learned anything about cryptids and the internet and urban legends, there is always doubt that was made up just for views.
No.
Nah.
People don't do that.
People don't lie on the internet. What is this, the 1990s? Earlier that same day, Brian wrote a lengthy post on Alt.Magic where he discussed his childhood belief in the game Bloody Mary. And this was the moment I stopped doing notes one night. So, because I was like, this is too much for me. There has been a mouse that we have caught several times in our house that we go to a park way down the street, let go, and comes back every time, that I will see run out of the corner of my eye. That scares me. And I saw that and I couldn't do my notes anymore. So that's where I'm at. But I did continue on like the brave soldier that I am.
Very proud of you.
So, if you all want to dive into Bloody Mary, we got an episode about that. EP 32, Bloody Mary rocks our world. So check it out.
You got a really great story in there about her rocking my world.
Ryan literally has Bloody Mary rock her world. So go check that out. But back to this one. So in this article, he proposes the idea that if enough people believe in an imagined entity, there's a possibility it will be manifested into existence. He brings up how maybe Bloody Mary could have been created just by a collective force of will, and maybe we have more power in creation than we think. And I think this was really interesting because we've talked about this many times on the show. Like, maybe we're just manifesting all these really awful things.
When enough cultures all have like the exact same story, you know, maybe it's true.
Maybe it's true. Well, the thing is, we gotta connect the dots now. So that same evening, Brian then posted his Black Eyed Kids encounter. So this led many to believe that he was simply creating the urban legend, because he goes on this whole rant on how we can just make up these creatures if enough people believe, and then he does a post about them. So that's where the doubt comes in.
Okay.
But who knows? I'm personally a big believer when you have something on the brain, you notice it way more. It's a lot like when you learn a new word for the first time and then you suddenly notice it everywhere and that everyone is using it.
All the time.
All the time. Like, I don't get it, but I think our brain just like blocks some stuff out. And when we open a door, it just lets everything else related to it in.
Or just like a new fun fact. You like hear it and then like 6 more people tell you it and you're like,
You're like, this is interesting. Yeah, no, I honestly believe he may have just had like the right third eye open that night or something like that. And it also seems that once the story was out, more encounters of these spooky Rugrats came into play. So maybe Brian was onto something. Maybe we did bring these spooky entities into our lives. But who knows? And the other interesting thing is I was able to find an oral legend of where the Black Eyed Kids come from, but there really wasn't much on it. It was like each thing I read about was like a passing sentence. So I like put all the sentences together from many different articles to make a story, because I couldn't just find the story by itself. So the legend tells of 4 children by the name of Josh Collins, Emma Collins, and their friends Remy and Joe, and how they decided to play a game of hide and seek. First red flag, hide and seek with kids. I don't know why, it just gets spooky. The kids went into the woods nearby, and while playing the game, it quickly became dark and they got lost in the forest. Though their bodies were never found, it's believed they all perished a terrible death, and the kids that meet the same fate will become one of the soulless-eyed children we know today. So, regardless if this is the true origin story or Brian's first encounter is, like, we don't know. It's actually like one of the more recent creatures we have talked about. So there's not a lot dating back, and there is like ghost children. That's really common, but I didn't want to get into that because I was scared, and that can be for another time. My heart can only take so much, you guys.
Yeah.
So I will tell you quickly about the name and show this quick little spooky image. The name Black Eyed Children is very straightforward. Just kids with solid black eyes. They also are known as Black Eyed Kids, or BEK for short. I didn't find that being anything else that could be bad, so that's why I want to refer to them from this point on in the story. And now that we know the history about them, it is Ryan's turn to tell you about some of these first-hand encounters with these spooky creatures. Thank you for changing the slide, because I really hated that image.
Staring at you. All right, so this first one is as previously mentioned Brian's encounter. All right. So late one evening, Brian had parked his car outside a movie theater to write a check because, people used to write
Very
checks.
90s.
Yeah. While doing this, two young boys approached his car. He was so absorbed in what he was doing that it was only until one of the boys tapped on the side of his window and he was startled and noticed them. He immediately rolled down his window to ask what they wanted, but felt a sense of dread come over him. The older of the two boys said that they had come to watch the Mortal Kombat movie, but forgot some money at home and were asking if Brian could give them a ride home. Bethel felt weird. Wait.
That's his last name.
Sorry, yeah. So Brian felt weird, and if on cue, the children assumed Brian that they were harmless, which, if you're a child, then you have to assume, maybe.
Yeah, I was always told as a child not to get in a stranger's car if they ask, so I feel like me asking is another level.
Red flag, especially in the 90s. That was, ingrained,
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that's when Brian noticed the movie had already started and said that they wouldn't make it back in time if he did help them. That's when he turned and made eye contact. At that moment, his fear grew as he saw the soulless black eyes of the children. Now more focused on them, he also noticed a more ghostly appearance on them. Panicked, he drove out of the parking lot, never turning back. Now, what if they were just some kids? And they're like, dang, that guy was rude. Just peels away in his 90s.
I don't know what they said about old people back then. I was fresh out of the womb at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know this
Yeah, I don't think OK Boomer was around yet, even though he was a boomer.
Whatever the equivalent of OK Boomer was. The past tense for OK Boomer, yeah. I guess.
And they pulled skates out of their massively oversized pockets and skated home.
Or were Heelys? Or was that 2000?
I think that was more 2000 because I remember Heelys, and I was a baby in the 90s as well.
Yeah, we were 90s. We were 90s children, so this is right at the time to cause fear in our young parents' lives.
Yeah. All right, this next one is an elderly couple encounter. So this encounter takes place in the middle of Vermont. One snowy night, an elderly couple heard the sound of 3 loud knocks on their door. When they opened the door and saw 2 children, a boy and a girl. Parents will be here soon. May we come in? The couple assumed they were scared since the children did not make eye contact and just stood there in the doorway. At the same time, they felt a bit uneasy, but nonetheless, the elderly couple let the 2 inside.
No, sorry.
Yeah, the kids then settled on the couch while the wife made some hot cocoa and the husband asked them questions that went unanswered. The wife returned and noticed that her cat was scared and angry with the children. May we please use the restroom? The wife then made eye contact with the children and noticed their black, soulless eyes. She quickly directed them to the bathroom and now panicked returned to her husband, who was covering his face with his hands. Did you see their eyes? The husband then showed her his hand full of blood from a nosebleed. The power then suddenly went out and the house became pitch black and quiet.
Jesus Christ.
The wife headed to the restroom and was confronted by the voice of the kids at the end of the hall uttering, "Our parents are here." The kids then exited the house, leaving the door wide open. The wife then noticed there were 2 men at the end of the driveway. The men were very tall and slender. The wife waved but did not receive the same friendly gesture. The 2 men and children then drove away together in one car. Then, as quickly as it turned off, the power came back on and the couple didn't know what to make of the strange encounter. They were glad the kids were gone and talked about how they had black eyes and hoped to never encounter them again. Sadly, though, this wasn't the end of it. Through the next week, weird things happened in the house. 3 out of the 4 cats went missing, and 4th had been found dead in a pool of its own blood. Eek. The husband continued to have nosebleeds and finally went to the doctor where he was diagnosed with very aggressive skin cancer. So it sounds like they're very bad luck, I guess.
I hate everything about all of that because I don't know. I just like I have such a hard time because I always help children.
Yeah.
But being a single, like having to live by myself and be single for a while, I remember like getting really into true crime to like learn how to keep myself safe
Yeah.
and how one of the tactics they'll use is to have kids to try to knock on your door to get stuff so that they could break in. So I would just be like, nah, chief, not tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Unfortunately, there weren't too many true crime podcasts in the 90s.
You know, that's what I have to think of. Like we didn't have the internet at this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't trust people.
No, that's fair.
I look at people and I'm like, nah. Like
See,
my sweet father was always like, you really gotta give people a chance. And I was like, they have 2 seconds. I can tell everything I need within the first 2 seconds of meeting a person.
but
What
it's
they're gonna
possible. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was going to start astrology ranting, and I don't think anyone has the heart for
We'll
it.
cut you off now then. Well, I was going to say, so it's possible that the children like didn't bring the bad things and they were more of just like a sign, you know? Like these things were going to happen already anyway. And they were just kind of like the omen, I guess, not the cause. You know, just throwing it out there.
Well, like the lights though. I'm sorry. Like
Well,
that
I mean, just because they could still cut the lights out.
that's part of the setup. That's part of the omen thing they do, actually.
That doesn't mean that they caused it. I don't know. That's just, just a little thought for you.
Are you going to put them closer to good than me in this episode? Is that what that's sounding like?
Well, maybe I didn't think about that until just now. Maybe I need to adjust my alignment chart a little bit. And finally, these are 2 encounters from the England Daily Star, which I believe is a tabloid magazine, but
yes,
we're gonna pretend that it's a newspaper. On
tabloid.
Saturday, 13th September of 2014, an older couple were walking through Canuck Chase near the Style Cop with their dog. It's the most British sentence I've ever read. Once they got far enough into the woodlands and they were unable to see the road, they started to hear giggling noise of a little girl. The husband recalls the following. To our amazement, a child no taller than 1 meter in height appeared, as if out of nowhere further up the path in front of us. Is this British? I think this is British.
I like how you started like old school American.
We stopped. Yeah, and then
progressed into more elegant.
We stopped dead in our tracks after noticing her eyes had no color. Her head was tilted to the side in much the same way it would appear as if she had been hung. Crikey, that's Australian.
Guess the accent. There was like 6 in there, you guys.
She stared at us for about 5 minutes before running away into the densely grouped area of the trees. My wife wanted to follow her, but I was having none of it. Good show.
There you go. You ended on it, which is what matters. I felt that.
Having a hard time with accents today. So the author Lee Brickley reported on this encounter while doing research for his book, Canuck Chase, terrifying reports of the paranormal activity from the UK's most haunted town. It wasn't long till another person would come forward and tell Brickley of a similar encounter. A woman by the pseudonym Miss Kelly contacted him, and this is her encounter. Oh, man, I'm going to try. Around 2 months ago, my daughter and I were walking through Birches Valley, which is an area well known for its spectral sightings. When we heard screams of young children, I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, but they definitely seemed in distress and sounded very close to us. So we instantly started running towards the noise. Rule 1, never run towards the noise.
It's a kid in I get it. I get it.
But, you're in the most haunted town in England, apparently.
Fair. Fair. Great point.
We couldn't find the child anywhere, and so stopped to catch our breath. That's when I turned around and saw a girl stood behind me, no more than 10 years old, with her hands over her eyes like she was waiting for a birthday cake. What a strange description. I asked if she was okay and if she had been the one screaming. She then put her arms down by her side and opened her eyes, which is when I saw they were completely black. No iris, no white, nothing. I jumped back and grabbed my daughter. When I looked again, the child was gone. It was strange, really. I knew something was going to happen even before it did. I just had a weird feeling. Now, there are a ton of encounters, so if you guys want to read, go check out the very reputable source, England Daily Star. Kimmy will have a link to it. And read it in your best British accent and send it to me, because apparently I forgot what British people sound like.
Or read it in your best old school journalist transitioning to British accent. So it feels like you were telling the story with
Daily
us.
Star.
Have you seen Adventure Time?
I'm not all of it. Some of it.
To all those that watch Adventure Time, that's one of my bread and butter shows. I love when Ryan does the voice because he sounds like Jake's father. It's my favorite thing because him and his mom talk like that.
Old radio announcer.
They're like old, like demon hunters.
Oh,
they're like old school demon hunters, and he'll be like, "Oh, honey, we gotta go do this right now." Like, it's so cute, but I love it so much. It's like my favorite voice. Anyway, I'm trying to completely distract by everything I hated in that. So,
you know what we don't hate though?
We don't hate our sponsors.
We don't hate our sponsors. Let's jump to our sponsors. Bye. All right, and for people on YouTube, instead of listening to our sponsor, check out this badass Trust the Dog collection. A very heavily requested collection, I will say. I had someone say, "Where's the dog collection you promised us?" Here it is. It's out.
Merry belated Christmas, everybody.
It's a badass shirt.
And the cool ones, you see the ones where it's like white on the green? There are different color shirts for that. There's like blues, and I think I did a yellow. It's been a minute, but they're there. And you know what? You can wear it when you go walk your dog. So when you run into an alien, to look at your dog and be like, what do I do, bro? And then they will tell you, because you got to trust the dog.
That's the number one rule. In every situation, trust the dog.
Always trust the dog.
All right.
That's all I got. Short ad for y'all.
Go get a shirt. It's Pablo on that shirt right there. He's even got the little heart. He's not in my room right now because he's a loud boy. But wow, those ads sure were a great distraction from the horrifying stories that we have been doing today.
Yeah, if I can't laugh about it, or I'm just gonna move on, you guys. I hope you guys don't expect much more than that. I'm already stuttering, so and then the picture of the little soulless eye demon comes up. It's fine. Welcome back, Cam.
I should have worn contacts today, just like freak you out. Like gone off screen for a second and then like put them in.
Ryan, I can't with you right now. Don't even talk to me. Don't even. This has been the last episode. No, I can't do it. So anyway, let's get back into this real quick. Woo! So appearance-wise, these entities resemble children between the ages of 6 and 16. They wear dark clothes, so nothing that's dated too much, and are most commonly seen with a hoodie, and the hood will like hide their eyes so you can't see it. They are known to have very pale skin, and their eyes are an unnatural, pure black color. Like all of it. Like we got no white going on in there. When one makes eye contact with them, they will feel an immense sense of dread. They will then speak and ask for help in a very desperate sounding voice, which will make one feel immense guilt if they don't help them out. And if you are running into one of these creatures isn't scary enough, they typically travel in groups of 2 or 4. So you're going to run into a few of these creepy little rugrats.
Nice.
And these creatures can be found standing at doorsteps, near a car door, on highways, hitchhiking, or my favorite, panhandling.
Whatever it takes.
You know, whatever you need to get the scares. In this economy, I get it. Everyone's got a side hustle, even the BEK.
Yeah.
So, on top of being super creepy, they are known to be very sinister. They will either lead people away from safety or mostly walk up to a door or window and knock and then ask one of the following questions. So they will ask if they can use your phone to call someone, to let them in. And they use the word please let them in, but they don't say it like, hey, can you please let us in? They're like, please let us in. Like, it's very cut and dry, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not very...
They're not asking all, like, nicely.
Yeah.
Even though they're saying please.
Yeah, it's like a demand. Like, please let me in. And then they're known to ask for a favor, request, or some type of help. Pretty much anything that gets them into whatever building you are currently in. That's their purpose, is to hang out with you, so to speak. So when one encounters this entity, though their gut may be screaming to turn the other way, they will feel obligated to help them out. And that is because of their ability to manipulate people, along with their ability to manipulate others into doing their bidding. So they have a few abilities, and I hate every single one of them. So they are quite stealthy. They can hide, and they'll like appear and disappear really quickly. They love stalking, so they will be watching you for a while before
they love stalking. Oh boy.
Oh boy, they love it. And being on the other end of that is not a good time. Jeez. Don't stalk people, everybody. It's not okay. There's no known way to get rid of them. A lot of people believe like sage your space or like do holy rituals to clean it, but we can't destroy them. They just disappear, reappear.
Just join them. Like, hey, I like your vibe. You wanna?
Is this like
team up?
Ryan, I'm so confused. Are you like
I'm
supportive?
throwing you for a loop, you know? This is you're feeling what I feel every week.
No, it's different. It's different. You can't justify it. This is completely different.
There's just some cool kids trying to play some fun pranks on some old people. They're just having a good time.
You know, there's days where God really tests me, and I feel like this episode...
I mean, the next one's cool.
Dark magic.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's fun. Very 90s, like on brand with the 90s and the satanic panic of D&D.
Who hasn't gotten all their friends together and did some dark magic? He who is not guilty can cast the first stone. That's all I'm saying.
Lord, if this is the one, wow, it really is a new year. Look at what's happening to us over here, you guys. I thought the last episode, I was like, oh, this sounds nice, right? Seeing the good in these dark entities, and now I don't know how I feel about it. Now that it's a child and not a hot older woman, I just don't know what's really going on anymore.
really throwing you off.
I'm uncomfortable with the story. I don't know what's happening. It's like you switched like voting parties on me all of a sudden, Ryan. There's a lot going on with me inside. So another ability is madness inducement, also known as insanity inducement, which is the power to cause madness in a person or a group of people that have no mental illnesses. So the victims totally lose grip of reality and become hostile and lose control over themselves. But like Ryan said, they sound just pretty cool, so it's okay.
They're just hanging out.
Jesus Christ. On top of dealing with one of these abilities, an encounter with this creature, whether you help them or not, will result in lasting nightmares. So even seeing them, you're going to get nightmares, which makes sense. And if you are unlucky enough to help out this creature, you will develop agoraphobia, which is an extreme or irrational fear of entering open or crowded places, of leaving one's own home, or being in a place from which escape is difficult. So it's not a fun time. I'm going to say it.
Oh.
They don't sound pretty cool to me, and it's not a fun time.
No. People have different opinions on different things.
Ryan, this is, I don't know what point you're trying to prove. It's not working. It's not working at all. I don't. Being tested. I get tested every day, you guys.
Oh, wow. Look at that newspaper.
So this is what we call tabloids, which are the most entertaining form of information.
Screaming black-eyed children, ghost, terror, children, haunting, baffles experts.
So, with the encounters of these kids popping up more frequently, it wasn't long until they started to become front page news. Front page tabloid news.
Yeah,
Tabloids in like little font next to it.
Yeah.
So
you know those for our audio listeners, you ever gone to like Walmart or Smith's and like in the checkout aisle there's just those little magazines with just the most ridiculous headlines you've ever seen, where it'll be like Oprah like creates volcano to like expand house in Hawaii or something like that. Like that's what the Daily Star is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It has the big meme font across the front of it. Like
Baba Noose.
Like you get it for a fun time, not a factual time.
Yeah.
But that's why you guys are probably here listening to our show too. So
we're basically the tabloid of the cryptid podcast world.
Is that why there's cryptid podcasts that don't like us?
Yeah, you know, that's probably it. That'll do it.
We're the Daily Star of cryptid podcasts.
Damn. We just discovered something about ourselves.
Listen, people are still supporting us, so if that says anything, people are here for a good time, not a fashion. Hey, speaking of which, our Patreon is
The mainstream folklore podcasts want to shut us down. We need your support today.
They want to shut us down. Only you can support
We're
this
telling the truth about
information.
Mothman, and nobody else wants to listen.
The truth about the Loveman Frogman, he's caked up.
Nobody else wants to admit that the Frogman is caked up. We here at Aloreing know he is caked up. We've seen him. We've seen him in his little wizard outfit, squatting 800.
Goes to my gym. That's how we got the interview.
He hogs the squat rack all day.
Wow, okay. Well, we're just going to keep going on that if I don't move on. So, these kids...
I was performing dark rituals with the black-eyed children next door.
He chants protein as he does it. He uses protein powder to make the pentagram on the floor.
I've seen the protein pentagram. It's real.
The protein pentagram is real. Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna tweet that. No context, just the protein pentagram is real.
Oh my gosh, I need that as a shirt. Oh, that's the funniest fucking thing ever.
What are we even talking about, though? We're black-eyed children. That's what we're
talking about. Nightmare fuel. Okay. So these kids especially became popular in England news and were commonly seen as front cover scary stories to entice the readers. Some say it was the gloomy weather which made it easy to misidentify any kid in the coat as one of these entities, but more and more first-hand encounters of these black-eyed demons became a major part of the news. Especially during the week of September 2014, when the British tabloid Daily Star ran 3 sensational front news stories about alleged black-eyed children sightings. So these encounters were all connected to the sale of the haunted pub in Staffordshire and even led to the collection of ghost hunters checking out the spot to see these entities firsthand. So the Daily Star continued to report about these several times and referred to as a plague of black-eyed ghost children in Cannock Chase, Staffordshire. And it seemed that the legend of many credible witnesses continued to flood in, and all these encounters were eerily similar, and it was never clear what their purpose was. So though, sorry, it's just the protein shake thing just really stuck with me. I'm trying to just move past it, and I just like see him like adding like sticks to each corner and pebbles from the water and like a wizard hat on one point. It's just, oh Lord, I love my imagination. So though there aren't many consistent encounters with these hooligans reported today, the BK are still a major part of local ghost stories told in the area.
So here's what happened, right? This kid went to Spencer's in 2014, or Hot Topic, either way, and he found some black, what are they called, contacts? Because those were a thing in 2014. I remember.
Oh yeah.
And he just scared an entire town. It was just a guy.
It was just one kid.
It was one kid doing black magic with his friends. Yeah.
And like Ryan said, who hasn't done black magic in their teens?
That's what I'm saying.
Who hasn't had a wicked face?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm really trying to keep it together. That's just funny. I may have to do a pentagram protein shake thing just for us personally. Just when I go do yoga. So they ask just enough questions. They're like, oh, that looks nice. I'm like, I'm glad you think so. Now, you may be wondering, what the hell are these creatures? Are they demons? Are they aliens? Are they cryptids? Well, there are a few theories. The most popular one is that they are a paranormal entity, and whether that is a ghost or a demon depends on who you ask. So the theory of them being a ghost would explain their ability to disappear and reappear, along with how they have a ghostly appearance. So like a lot of the other sightings we didn't talk about, people say they kind of like look a little transparent, if that makes sense. Like you can kind of see through them. And many demonologists, which I didn't know was a thing, believe that these children are the devil's offspring, and if you allow them in, you are inviting the devil himself. Wow. So, and some kids are a little like the devil. So, you know what? I won't dismiss this one completely.
Devil's Mr. Worldwide, apparently. He's got little demon children all over the place.
The devil is like Quagmire in the situation. So regardless if they are a ghost or demon, they both are known to leave an awful lasting effect on their victim. So, which checks out with a demon or a ghost. Like, someone doesn't just encounter a demon or a ghost and it's like, oh, that was a great Tuesday.
Unless you're cool with them.
Unless you're cool. Ryan's apparently getting into some stuff I don't know about.
2023, baby. Let's go. I'm getting weird in 2023. That's what I've decided. I'm gonna get real weird with it.
With his protein shake pentagons.
Every day. That's actually how I take my protein powder in the morning.
I don't know why that's the funniest thing. I want to send you my Wiccan books and you figure it out.
Anytime it says salt, just replace it with protein powder.
I just scribble it in like really bad handwriting too.
Summon the buffest demon you've ever seen.
I'm ready. I'm actually ready for 2023 for you. It will be a great year. I can feel it in my bones. The next popular theory is that they are aliens. So it's believed they've come to Earth to do research. And the reason I don't think they're aliens is because they're like hella vicious. I feel like a lot of the aliens we've talked about and I've looked into are very like skittish when they come. They like come to Earth, do research, and they like get caught and they're like, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. They're sounding like they're scientists, not their creepy demon soldier children.
Right. Like I like to think of the Mantis Man. He was one of the first cryptids we talked about. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah.
And him just like getting scared and disappearing, like
shrieking and running away.
So that checks out to me. But you know, there's also one more alien theory, and that is that they are a weird human alien hybrid love child. And this one seems like a stretch to me. But then I took a step back and I thought about humanity in the last few hundred years and how many men have been caught fucking ghosts. Not ghosts, probably ghosts.
And
but
ghosts, yeah.
Goats and horses. So an
really,
alien
anything.
hybrid. Yeah, so I was like, an alien hybrid doesn't sound too far off.
It doesn't.
At first, I was like, there's no way. And then I was like,
Look,
you know.
Again, those of us who haven't slept with an alien can cast the first stone. All right?
This episode has to be the Black Eyed Kids casting the first stone or something.
You can't. No one can. You ever seen Signs? Well, you're gonna tell me
That's
no?
what does it.
Come on.
That's the one.
Don't lie to yourself.
Man, I don't know what is happening right now. I don't know what flip switch happened in the universe this year, but I've learned it always has to be one of us. We can never both be.
We're yin and yang.
We're the yin and yang of poor decisions.
Look, I'm just trying to make some friends, and maybe those friends are demons, and like you gotta do what you gotta do.
I just hope progressing throughout the year you start to dress more in like the Wiccan attire. Like I will send you my wardrobe. You start doing more of the cardigans. I start seeing more moon celestial stuff. I was
thinking more like the edgy, like YouTube ones where they got like the black top hats and like the red ties. Like we'll see.
Yeah, and the petticoat. I have a petticoat.
Of course you do.
I've cosplayed a lot. I got everything in my closet. Okay.
He's gonna get real into like sports and stuff, and I'm gonna get real into witchcraft. We're just gonna flip it.
I'm gonna start drinking protein powder shakes.
We said 2023 last episode. We said 2023 is the year of maybe just like everyone chill out and let's just vibe for a year. Nah, 2023 is now the year of getting weird with it.
Get weird with it. Mm-hmm. Ryan's gonna get into the witchcraft, and I'm gonna get really into gym life. It will be great. Mm-hmm. So the final theory of what these creatures can be is vampires that practice evil magic.
Oh,
so I love this one.
Yeah, that one makes sense actually.
I wrote this as like the least possible, but the more we talk, I'm actually more for this one because they have to be allowed to be entered. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? One thing I do want to point out, I feel if this was a thing, like if this was one of the more popular theories, we would have saw it on What We Do in the Shadows by this point.
But Kimmy, have you seen the movie?
No.
There are they in the movie children vampires in What We Do in the Shadows.
I didn't know
in the old it's the movie came way before the show. It's like in New Zealand. It's different actors, but it's
that's
really
okay.
Good. Yeah. It's got the guy from what's his name? I can't think of any of the actors' names right now. Every New Zealand actor you can think of is in it.
Okay, well, now I know what I need to watch after I watch the horror movies sent to me. Because okay, well, now I want to say they're vampires and nothing can change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, it's going to be in that show. If it's popular, that's where it's going to be.
I mean, they don't have black eyes in the movie, but they are, in fact, children vampires. So, we're like 90% there.
90%. You know what? That's just a contact fix. Like, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So, again, we don't know what they are. I was very like, I think they're supernatural entities. Now I'm leaning vampire. So, sometimes I write the notes and I completely change how I feel during the episode. But this one's a little chaotic, so checks out. The next part I want to talk about is how eyes are the windows to the soul. So people often call eyes windows to the soul. But what exactly do we see when we gaze into another person? In fact, the eyes do provide a lot of information about a person's emotional state, and we tend to track the eyes of those who we're talking to as a means of communication. So people's eyes can change, whether they are fearful, happy, sad, full of rage, etc. However, with the BEK having completely black eyes, there's no way to read them. You are so close to the camera. That scared the shit out of me.
I was looking into the eyes of our viewers.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that really like threw me off. I thought you got like meme frozen for a second right there. That's gonna be a meme. I'm taking that screenshot. So it's unclear. So we can't see where their eyes are looking, and that's what makes us feel so uncomfortable. There have also been many religious theories that say how black eyes represent a demonic possession, a lack of control, and an inner darkness connected to the devil that is wanting to escape. So I personally have always referred to them as dead eyes. Fun fact, if you want to scare yourself, if you're like, this episode obviously isn't as spooky as you thought it was going to be and you want to scare yourself, look up some of the true crime cases kind of going on, like the big court ones. And if you're like, I think this person did it, look at their crime shot photos, because the ones that did it will always have like the dead eyes. And it's the creepiest thing ever. Like, I can't explain it. I've run into people that have the dead eye, and I'm like, nah, chief. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it. I know
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like...
What's funny, right? So, think about, like, every prey animal. Like, deer, cows, like, none of them have whites in their eyes, but, who do are predator animals. Like, dogs, humans, like the hunters have like the whites in their eyes because I don't know why. I'm not a scientist, but something to think about. Maybe, as I've been saying, black-eyed kids misunderstood.
I see what you mean when you say I justify these murderous women because like I had no idea where that was going, and I'm like, he's just trying to prove his point somehow.
According to sciencefocus.com, species who hunt in groups are more likely to have whites in their eyes than those who hunt alone or prey animals. So, throwing it out there. I want the audience to have both sides of it.
Jesus. I don't know what's happening, you guys. I feel this is a really unhinged. Like, we just keep bouncing on this episode.
Oh, just wait.
Lord, well, listen. Speaking of the Lord, you know what time it is, Ryan? It's time.
Oh, yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
It's time for Is It Science or the Church? Well, I will add a sound effect to your soundboard where it's a howl, like a whoo. Yeah.
So
next time.
That dog up. Well, considering we've spent most of the episode talking demons, vampires, yeah, I'm gonna go with
Can I
the
tell you
church.
something?
Okay, yeah, I haven't finished it. Yeah.
Because you didn't quite. I cut you off right in time. You said one of the things earlier in the episode.
I said one of the things earlier in the episode.
Yes.
Was it sciencefocus.com? My source for which animals have whites in their eyes, according to Google.
It wasn't that specific website, but that's all the hints you're getting.
Well, I feel like I'd be cheating if I changed my answer. So
what was your answer?
I said the church.
Okay.
Already, but now I'm thinking it's wrong.
Yeah, well, like your theory of them being good, this one is also wrong, so you can boo yourself on that soundboard.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, you win some, you lose some. I'm still proud of everybody who voted for the church. He who has never guessed science or the church wrong may cast the first. I'm gonna add science or the church to my podcast and make you have to guess. Be like, so who banned this movie in 1980? Was it science or the church? They're all gonna be the church, but
I want to guess science just to shake it up a little bit. You're like, just so you can feel my pain.
Yeah. I just want the power.
You just want the power. What's the Palpatine thing? Do it. Now, we got science for this one. Because the thing is with the church, demons is just too broad. You know what I mean? It's too broad of a thing. There's not like a specific event or explanation for it. So it's got to be something specific. So there are two theories I could find about them. The first one is a condition called mydriasis, which is the dilation of pupils, which can be caused by various drugs or trauma or other things. So many researchers have proposed that if a kid is taking drugs, it can produce this. So the drug would also explain the strange, almost mechanical behavior of the kids in these reported cases. But there isn't any actual studies for it.
That's a stretch.
So it's a very thrown around thing.
Yeah, because dilated pupils are very different than black eyes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the next theory, which is much more plausible, as you could see by the image, is what you brought up. And it's just some child playing a spooky prank.
That's what it is.
So you got it.
Kids doing dark magic with the homies, hanging out.
Everyone has their little Wiccan face. So kids, typically teenagers, would pop in a pair of these full scalar contact lenses, which can be purchased at any costume store.
Oh.
So they make your eyes look almost entirely black. And these are the worst things to possibly get out of your eye, because you have to open your whole eyeball and pinch. I hate these. These are the worst thing ever. So fun eye PSA for all of you that are really into getting eyeballs touched. These are an absolute nightmare. This theory I think is great because it helps keep the spooky legend alive, but it doesn't explain how it started. So I think that they are real and they are vampires. That checks out to me.
I think they're real and they're just hanging out.
All right, your turn. You can take it from here,
Mr.
Pro BEK.
Modern Takes with Ryan, and that's my dog Pablo. All right. So you're probably wondering, Ryan, why do you keep defending these kids? Well, let me tell you, my favorite horror movie trope is the evil child trope because it's a lot of fun. Because when you think, like, what are all the terrible things in this world? You might think a child, but most likely not. And I think that's what's so fun about them is it's these, like, innocent little things that are monsters. And I mean, you see it all over Hollywood. I mean, there's the orphan, which is like all the way on the side. That's
I can't believe you put her up there to justify. She's not. She looks like a kid.
The black-eyed children are possibly not children. The vampires could be thousands of years old.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
Bada boom, bada bing. Even like the Halloween franchise, like the very first one, Michael Myers was a little kid when it all started. You think, oh, little old Mikey. Look at him now. You know?
Little old Mikey. I can't. This is it. This is the episode.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a fun little movie trope.
You know.
The audience agrees with me. I can hear someone sitting in their car on the way to work. They're like, yeah, Ryan's right. Those are the best horror movies. The Shining has these creepy little twins. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure who that one on the far right is.
No.
But they're creepy.
The only kids I can think of are from at the top of my head is the Lady in Black one.
Yeah, like the feral kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? And you're like, wow, what a good movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That was the first thought that came to mind.
The Grudge, technically. Or, sorry, not Grudge. Yeah, The Grudge, The Ring. It's all little kids who you think are innocent, but bam, they get you, and it makes for a great movie. That's really all I have because Kimmy recommended me watching a 2012 movie called Black Eyed Kids, and it had 2 stars. And the only option to watch it was like $12, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that. So if you'd like to watch, there's a 2012 film called Black Eyed Kids. It might be good, but probably not. And like, bad horror movies are good, but like fun bad. I think this one might just be bad.
It may just be a few kids hanging out. Yeah. From what we've gathered.
Just some kids vibing, you know, putting contacts in, pranking people.
That's another great episode title. The Black Eyed Kids just vibing.
I like demonic Rugrats. I think that's a great title. I highlighted it at the very beginning.
Thank you so much. That makes my life so much easier when I do the notes. Okay.
But yeah, that's been Modern Takes with Ryan. Very simple. Yeah.
Lore report time. I can't. We're moving on.
Welcome to the lore report.
And then I have an owl sound for this that goes, hoo-hoo. But I haven't given it to you yet. Was that it?
That's me.
Oh, okay. I was like, that sounds just like it.
Thank you. My college mascot is the night owl, so I have to constantly hoot, or else they expel me.
Oh. It's like the joke. It's like one of us is an owl.
Who?
Exactly. I mean... Okay. Y'all, we have some very exciting projects coming out your way. I've been really busy with a lot of planning for the year. So I have been working on scheduling out a lot, and I mean a lot of behind-the-scenes posts for our Patreon. So, you know what? Head on over there if you want to see a little bit behind the curtain, or the campground tent is a better analogy for all our brand stuff.
I haven't told you this, but I'm going to make a Loveland Frogman workout guide. It's not going to be a good workout guide.
It doesn't need to be.
It's only going to be glutes. But that'll be on Patreon, and the big folklore doesn't want us to tell you about the Loveland Frogman's workout. But you can find it on Patreon.
Can you please wear an American flag? I just need an American flag in there as an accessory. But
all right, you folklore lovers, head on over to patreon.com/Aloreing. We got coloring pages that the corporate media doesn't want you to use, digital downloads that you should probably print them out before it gets taken offline. And of course, what freedom-loving Patreon wouldn't be complete without voting on future episodes.
Please. I'm cutting that out to make it an ad. That's the funniest thing. Oh yeah, you guys, we have some great stuff there. We have some games that are in the queue. I want to play.
We got games in the queue.
Mothman Prophecy.
There's the Mothman Prophecy. He sees the future. He can tell you what's coming. And what's coming is our Patreon.
Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna get the separate audio of that later. That's the best thing ever. Well, stay tuned, you guys, and it's a great way to support the show. The more support we get, the more episodes we can make, the more ridiculous stuff we can make, like Ryan's workout.
Yep. Show Big Folklore what it means to be a true folklore podcast.
Okay, your turn. I can't. I'm done today.
All right. And exciting news. If you loved that terrible little snippet of me talking about movies a couple minutes ago before whatever happened to my voice happened, you're going to want to check out our somewhat new podcast, because this is version 2.0. It's been out for a little bit, but version 2 is brand spanking new. Came out yesterday as of recording this podcast.
Yeah.
The Creepy Campers Podcast, where we will now be dissecting your favorite horror movies and looking at the deeper meaning, because that's the real joy of horror movies. It's not being scared. It's being like, is this movie about trauma? The answer is usually yes.
And it's great because then I'm forced to watch scary movies that I normally wouldn't watch. So
Yeah. We started it off light. The episode out now is about The Menu, which is one of my favorite movies, but not really a horror movie. But coming down the pipeline, we're going to talk about Smile. We're going to talk about the new, I can't even remember what the new movie's called. Like, it's kind of like Cabin in the Woods. Evil Dead Mama's coming out. There's all sorts of good movies coming out. And I'm going to make Kimmy watch all of them. Knock at the Cabin. That's the one I was thinking of.
yeah, it's fine. It's great. I'm excited and I hate it all at the same time. So it's a fun time and it's a great little show. I feel it's a little bit more serious than we can get on here, but I like it because it's good serious. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on the movie. Like, The Menu is a serious movie. I have a feeling Knock at the Cabin is going to be just absolutely terrible. And,
great.
So we'll see how that episode goes. But it's a good time. We do a little reviewing, a little talking, a little chit-chatting. It's a little more off the rails, like not quite so like researched. You know, it's as researched as we get from watching a movie.
It's more about our feelings.
Yeah. But anyway, check it out. Big Folklore also doesn't want you to watch that, so, you know.
Oh my gosh, I hope we don't get banned from YouTube for
Big YouTube's trying to shut down the small independent folklore channels.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well,
here is what you thought I was going to put for the Aloreing alignment chart. Right?
Okay.
You were like, yeah, Ryan's going to agree with me. Here's where we're at. I will agree. They are, in fact, chaotic, but we don't know they're evil.
What?
Did they ever,
Ryan.
in any of my stories, in any of your research, did they ever actually do anything evil? Or did they just make people feel creeped out? And then later, bad things happened.
They can be the result of those things.
Well, they come before. So I'm just saying it's entirely possible that they're more of a bad omen and not the cause. If anything, maybe they're the good guys. They're trying to warn you, like, our parents are coming and you want to stay away from them. So we're going to creep you out now so that you don't go outside to the men in the top hats.
No, because they're asking to come in.
To warn you.
We decided they're vampires. They want to enter your humble abode, shut off the power, freak you out.
I think the power going out may have just been a pure coincidence.
Oh my god.
The power grid in 2003 was not great.
It's still not great.
It's still not great. I can't vouch for England. I have no idea. You guys might have a great power grid. But we don't. My power goes out once a month. I don't blame it on demonic forces.
Jeez, Ryan.
I'm just saying.
What? I can't.
Just saying. Just saying.
No, you know what? I don't know what tea you drank today. Maybe it's because I had a protein shake this morning before my workout. Maybe that's what threw off everything. And that's why you are pro Black Eyed Kids right now.
Maybe it's because of my love of the Black Eyed Peas, the early 2000s bands, and maybe they were inspired by the Black Eyed Kids.
I never thought I'd see the day, and today's the day, and I wasn't ready for it.
Episode 3 was Ryan quits Aloreing. Episode 40 is
Kimmy
quits Aloreing.
I can't. I will move. I have been swayed a little.
Okay.
A little.
Okay.
A little. Where I will move a little over on the evil scale. Not as malicious, because Ryan does make a point.
A little more neutral.
A little more neutral. He does make a point. We haven't seen them physically do anything. But they have caused agoraphobia?
Agoraphobia. See, but that's just the fear of going outside.
That they didn't have before.
I mean, like a lot of stuff causes that.
Ryan Huskins, because it is caused from them seeing these creatures, from their encounters with them.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If people who had agoraphobia, when there's a global pandemic, they did pretty all right because they were already inside. So, what if, hear me out, what if the next time that person went outside, they were going to get struck by lightning? Instead, the Black Eyed Children said, stay inside forever, because the next time you go outside, you're going to get struck by lightning. It's kind of like a Final Destination situation. Just saying. Anything's possible. We don't know.
Jesus.
We are not experts. You say it at the beginning of the show.
I know. I put it in the precursor. Oh man. I'll move a little over to neutral.
More to the good, right?
Not to good. Between evil and neutral is where I place it. Very chaotic.
I'll take it.
Jesus. Well, we're doing takeaways. I'm going to start. Don't help demonic Rugrats is my takeaway.
Mine's going to be or do.
I can't. We're done. Everyone, this has been a great run. This has been Aloreing.
Have an Aloreing day. Go summon some dark spirits with your friendly neighborhood Black-Eyed Children. And we'll catch you next episode.
Don't do it, you guys. Bye.
Do it. Do it.